Hello, my name is Elizabeth Barlow, and today is February 7, 2025. I am an oil painter in Carmel by the Sea on the California coast, and my studio is in a historic church in the center of our town. I paint hyper-realistic flowers in an exaggerated scale to reveal the transformational power of nature's beauty. My late father, Philip Barlow, was a noted artist, and he was my first inspiration and teacher. My mother is a passionate gardener, and our childhood home was surrounded by her beautiful garden. However, it wasn't until recently that these two influences fused together in my art. For many years, I lived in San Francisco, and my paintings reflected my cosmopolitan life in the city. I developed a series of paintings called Portraits in Absentia, in which I used my subjects' belongings to create their portraits. I loved exploring my subjects' lives through their belongings. It was a kind of archaeology in paint. Then, in 2016, my husband and I decided to leave San Francisco and move to Carmel by the Sea, a place we both knew and loved. Within a few months, my art practice was utterly transformed. My stimulating urban world was replaced by ocean mists, twisting cypresses, and year-round flowers. Almost immediately, I felt called to use flowers as my subjects, and that is when I began my Flora Portraits series. In these paintings, I exaggerate the scale of the flowers to give them a powerful presence, and they become symbolic icons of serenity, resilience, and joy. My work is deeply informed by my art heroes, those I have met and those I know only through their work. For example, my late father, Philip Barlow, Georgia O'Keeffe, of course, my dear friend David Laguerre, and many others. But one of the most profound influences on my work was a rose bush. In 2018, a collector invited me to create a work for his new vineyard home in Sonoma, California. He and his wife had lost their prior home in the 2017 wine country fires, barely escaping with their lives. Everything on the property was destroyed, and one of the few things that survived was a single rose bush. And then something miraculous happened. That rose bush began to bloom gloriously, and the collector asked me to create a 6-foot painting of that rose for the new house. We titled the painting The Phoenix Rose because it literally rose out of the ashes. Although I had already been painting flowers for some time, the Phoenix Rose taught me that flowers can be powerful messengers. They lure us in with their beauty and then offer lessons of hope, renewal, and presence. If we pause and admire a flower, we can awaken into the now, into this flower, this one precious moment. Every day as I walk to my studio, I try to be fully present to the nature around me, pausing, listening, and observing. This centers me in beauty and prepares me for my work at the easel. I am always gathering flowers from my own rose garden or from favorite shops, searching for future subjects to paint. I photograph the flowers, always in the morning or late afternoon sunlight, and compile them into my reference photos. None of the flowers actually existed together in real life. They are from different seasons and even different years, but I put them together in a way that serves my intention and sings to me. I am a slow painter. Each painting takes 3 to 8 weeks to complete, depending upon the size of the canvas. I paint slowly by necessity, but more importantly, by intention. I love my art practice so much that I choose to be there for it, day by day, year by year. My devotion to slow painting anchors and steadies me, which is a wondrous thing in our increasingly noisy, fast-paced world. When I was a younger artist, I was reluctant to talk about beauty as an important component of my work. I wanted the work to be taken seriously, and still do, and worried that by invoking beauty, it would be dismissed as superficial. But when I began painting my flora portraits, I became aware of the transformational power of beauty. In our busy contemporary lives, it's all too easy to walk past beauty, never noticing it because we are thinking of our to-do lists. But if we allow ourselves to be tempted by beauty, we will stop for a moment. And in that pause, we breathe more slowly and become truly present to the world around us. When we stop for beauty, we build our awareness muscle, and seeing beauty becomes easier. Suddenly, it is everywhere around us, and our days are suffused with an infinite capacity for wonder. So now, I pay attention to beauty, and I celebrate it in my paintings. Beauty awakened me from a deep sleep of doing and into the miraculous world of being. If I could give advice to my younger self, I would remind her that energy flows where attention goes. Our lives are largely shaped by where we place our attention. The books we read, the films we watch, the news we consume, the friends we spend time with. I've found that if I cultivate where my attention goes, in the books, media, and people who bring grace and inspiration to my life, then my life unfolds in a way that is in true alignment with my heart and spirit. When I was a younger artist and taking art classes, I tried so many different mediums and techniques: charcoal, graphite pencil, pastel, Conte crayon, watercolor, and acrylic. But once I began painting with luscious oil paint, that was it for me. And over time, I've discovered that I work best by using a minimal and carefully curated collection of oil paint and brushes. I am at my happiest when working if the tools and techniques reside deep in the background of my practice, and my attention is fully focused on the beauty that I am trying to bring to life on the canvas. My studio is my sacred space, and I have daily rituals that center and ground me there. When I first step into my studio each morning, I open the blinds, turn on the kettle, and I am instantly soothed. There is a hush that is palpable, and this stillness brings me immediately into a place of inner calm. My busy mind slows down. I pour a cup of green tea, say a silent prayer of gratitude, and turn to the easel. Once I settle into my work at the easel, I listen to audiobooks. It seems counterintuitive, but I've found that by listening to a wonderful book, the busy side of my mind is occupied by the story, and I can be more fully present with my painting for a longer period of time. It is as if a spell is cast by the book and the act of painting, and I eagerly step into this world of enchantment each day. I'm always moved by the responses people have to my paintings. My collectors are male and female from all walks of life. They range from a Bay Area tech professional to a strawberry breeder to an opera composer. They are so different from one another, but they all share similar responses to my work. They tell me that my paintings are messengers of beauty and bring the power of stillness, grace, and harmony to their lives. I feel the same way about my painting practice. A flower is never just a flower. It is a reminder of all the wonder that is available to us at any time when we open our eyes and welcome it into our hearts.